Hello, Professor Reyes. So this week I wanted to do my final reflection for Module 5 in a video versus doing it typed out on Word because, well, one, I'm in 20 credit hours and I have written 12 assignments this week and had three actual essays due. And so my hands are honestly getting a little tired of typing. And two, I just kind of want to kind of connect more on this topic a little bit more in person, because this is something that I hear about a lot, but there's still a lot I want to learn about it. So within this reflection, I'm just going to answer the questions, kind of going down the list, and we'll go from there. So what were your main takeaways from this module, and how do the components fit together? One thing that I really learned within this module is the definition of diversity and inclusion, because I've heard it said multiple different times, but the most simplistic way to say it is diversity means differences and inclusion means coming together. So within diversity and inclusion, it's differences or different people coming together. So for me, I want to talk more about the innovation and creativity within being diverse and inclusive, is because whenever we look at like different organizations and groups, there's always stereotypical ideas about how each organization is presented and shown, as well as different groups like across campuses such as fraternities and sororities and the way that they're portrayed and stereotyped. But for me, like when I think about diversity and inclusion, I don't think about looking for diversity and inclusion per se. I think about how are we presenting the people that we have as being inclusive, because diversity just comes with everyone. The way I view it is I can't ever change the color of my skin and I can't change my sexual orientation, but I'm diverse based on my personality and who I am as a person. Well, a lot of people tend to just look at the color of the skin or the way the person speaks or certain aspects that really dictate like who that person is as a diverse person. That's not what I'm looking for within my organization. And so to make those components kind of fit together, throughout my organization, Cup of Joe, the way I'd been kind of looking at it is like, whenever I'm hiring someone, I'm looking for two things: motivation and work ethic. And those are the two things that really dictate whether you would get a position at my job or not. Well, yes, there is a demographic that says like if you do not have someone that is of a specific skin color, it's going to cause some difficulty. But for me, I don't like to look at it that way because I shouldn't be hiring someone purely based on the color of their skin or who they know. I want to be hiring people who actually are passionate and care about the job. And I feel like that's really hard to find nowadays. So something that was frustrating about this week, honestly, nothing about this topic. If you want me to be 100% honest with you, the most frustrating thing this week is I got the flu. And so I've been in bed since Sunday on antibiotics, just trying to recover. And that's not even the most frustrating part about it. The most frustrating part is about 95% of my friend group actually ended up catching COVID-19 this past week, which they all reported it to UCO and did the standards that they were supposed to. And I got tested twice alone this week for COVID and the flu. Both times I tested negative, even though I was feeling sick, so I still stayed home. Second time I tested negative for COVID again, but I tested positive for the flu. So I've been put on some antibiotics, and I'm just kind of going about my day. But I guess the part to relate this back to the topic that frustrates me is they didn't include me on getting COVID. And I say that entirely as a joke because honestly, my situation is a little bit better than theirs, knowing that I have the flu than COVID. So nothing really frustrated me within this topic because it's something I hear about a lot and I truly like understand. And maybe that's the frustrating part. Maybe it's we have to talk about it in almost every single different leadership class or different type of class to talk about diversity and inclusion when people cannot just figure out the fact that like it's such a simple topic that people take for granted. And I think that's the frustrating part about it, which is also what kind of surprises me about this topic. How can we talk about diversity and inclusion at a university on campus in I think this is the 8th class I've had to do something over diversity and inclusion. But the thing is there are still people who use microaggressions and there are people that have their egocentric biases. I think that's where I'm frustrated is because I see all of the potential within a lot of people, but then they'll make a comment. And it's the fact that they make the comment and people don't tell them that they're doing it. It's a bystander effect. You don't want to address a topic unless it directly relates to you. And that's an extremely frustrating thing for me is I feel like if you speak up and say something and it does attack someone else's personality, you truly need to stand up and say, hey, like, that was not the okay thing to say. And if that person's there, make them go apologize. Like, it's as simple as recognizing that implicit bias that we first off have and recognizing those microaggressions that we say to overall fixing the situation. I don't really have any remaining questions for this week. I think with diversity and inclusion, it's such an important topic, and I'm honestly kind of surprised that we even get to do it in this course because that's not where I was thinking the focus was going to be. But I'm really glad you got to bring it to attention. So thank you so much for that. And then I just really hope this has been a good week for you. As I said, I've been in bed all week, so it's had its pros and cons. I miss school. I miss going back to work. But I am glad I didn't catch COVID-19, so I really hope everything is good with you, and I hope you enjoy this presentation versus just seeing another YouTube or seeing another Word document, because I'm truly wanting to try out more different ways to give approaches. And I know I'm a decent speaker, but at the same time, like, you can never perfect speaking. And so, like, I don't have a script. I'm doing this all off, like, my memory and, like, how I'm really feeling. So I hope you get to see that and kind of appreciate that as well. So thank you so much. I'm just going to upload this to D2L. Thank you.